In part one of this intro to agentic automation, I talked about Marshall McLuhan's media theory. And in his book, Understanding Media, he talks about how technology extends human capability. I mean, books extending memory, wheels extending mobility, your clothing being an extension of your skin. Super powerful, but what does it have to do with agents, you might ask? Well, in that very video, I took it a step further, asserting that generative AI agents, the ones with planning, tool calling, memory, all extend human cognition. Every now and again, a framing like this comes along to crystallize our relationship with technology. And in the 80s, Steve Jobs gave us such a banger when he referenced a study measuring locomotion efficiency across different species. And he described computers as a bicycle for the mind, meaning technology amplifies our natural abilities. Let's hear it straight from him.
I think one of the things that really separates us from the high primates is that we're tool builders. And I read a study that measured the efficiency of locomotion for various species on the planet. The condor used the least energy to move a kilometer. And humans came in with a rather unimpressive showing about a third of the way down the list. It was not too proud of a showing for the crown of creation. So that didn't look so good, but then somebody at Scientific American had the insight to test the efficiency of locomotion for a man on a bicycle. And a man on a bicycle, or a human on a bicycle, blew the condor away, completely off the top of the charts. And that's what a computer is to me. What a computer is to me is it's the most remarkable tool that we've ever come up with. And it's the equivalent of a bicycle for our minds.
Don't you just love that quote? I mean, if computers are bicycles for the mind, then generative AI agents are entire transportation networks that build new routes as they travel. Agentic automation is one that where you're not just amplifying your cognitive ability, you're
extending your cognitive presence across time and space.
A little hyperbolic, but hello again, I'm Noble, and in this follow-on video, I want to further unpack agentic automation in the real world, in the enterprise. That is, AI systems that reason, plan, make API calls, act while learning and pursuing your goals. All right, y'all, let's begin. So how does agentic automation actually work? Agentic automation has evolved over three distinct First, we have traditional bots, right? Many of which you use today without even realizing. They're in production, from macros in Microsoft Office to robotic process automation systems, to RNN-based chatbots that power a lot of these system services that you use. They're rigid, they execute one action per command. As a result, they're often brittle, and they fail when the unexpected occurs. And you're using them today, like customer support bots that are powered by Zendesk's AnswerBot. They automate online queries, but only in predictable scenarios. Next, we have what we have today enabled by generative AI, which are what we call agentic automation workflows, right? And these workflows keep humans actively in the loop of their operations. And I call these the Tesla autopilot phase of automation, where you have repetitive tasks with enough variation that traditional bots would break, right? And or maybe when the cost per decision really matters. So tools like Salesforce's Agentforce or Google's Agent Space, offerings by Microsoft Copilot, automate standard tasks, freeing people for complex decisions. And then there is, of course, the fully automated agents phase, right? Which require minimal human input. And I call this the Waymo experience, if you're familiar with the self-driving cars, where we have agents mostly ambient but require humans on the loop, like GitHub's Copilot Review or Google's Jules product, autonomously merging thousands of code requests daily. So, high volume, low risk operations or autonomous security monitoring and remediation, where real time response at scale is a non negotiable. And Steve Jobs envisions computers amplifying human intelligence. And I believe that today that amplification has expanded into assistance, collaboration, and delegation. Organizations now choose the appropriate autonomy level for each task, blending these phases as needed. All right, so here's another real world example that's worth a mention. Heathrow Airport, one of the busiest airports on the planet. Previously, they had employed 100 human agents, and they had 20-minute response times to something that was extraordinary. After implementing Salesforce's Agent Force, their live chat usage surged 450%, while their handling times dropped by nearly a third. So imagine what their revenue goes up to. That's not just improvement, that's full on transformation. And here's what makes it really powerful. Pit them together, multiple agents working together. It kind of seems like a Formula One pit crew. Shout out to Damson Idris. I want to see that F1 movie. I will see it soon. Anyway, using tools like Microsoft's Magentic One, Microsoft was able to sort of demonstrate diagnostic agents spotting patterns, knowledge agents surfacing documents, communication agents crafting responses, all in milliseconds, all at the same time. It's kind of like giving every employee an expert advisory team at the speed of thought. Okay. Now, before you go drinking the Kool-Aid, it's not all sunshine and rainbows because these systems, when they fail spectacularly. Agents and agentic automation is built on the same technology as we are familiar with, large language models, meaning they hallucinate, they confabulate facts, super confident, and debugging multi-agent systems is insane. The technical challenges are equally real, right? You've got integration nightmares, security vulnerabilities to contend to. MCP, for example, doesn't even have OAuth, right? So observability also has blind spots because if an agent is really has the agency to find out, we have to have ways to have ACLs access logs to just understand where it's going to find its information. All right. So make sure you keep this in mind in high impact areas like finance or healthcare, and try not to play Russian roulette with your business or your brand. So, how do we get this right? You have to start small, maintain human oversight, go the Tesla mode before you go full on Waymo mode, use sandbox environments always, and I'll leave you with some readiness checks. Okay, so check if you have 100 repetitive tasks that are weekly, sort of like high impact, low effort, clearly documented processes, low stakes areas to begin. You've got your baseline metrics in check. Your team is actually ready for human AI collaboration, and they're not scared of AI. So the culture is amenable to it. Once you've checked three of these, you're ready to begin. If not, better start preparing because your competition probably checked all five. All right, let's bring this home. Steve Jobs was right about technology amplifying human potential, but even he might not have imagined our tools becoming cooperative and self navigating agents. Here's your challenge: shift your thinking from fear of job replacement to exploring how human AI collaboration can create entirely new roles and value streams. In this new landscape, it's not humans versus machines, it's humans empowered by outperforming those who are without. Those who master agent orchestration will become the most valuable players, the MVPs. Welcome to the age of human agent collaboration.